you could add a zero to this and basically buy 71 cents worth of Bitcoin. So this is really open to everyone. And the good news about it is that this is a way for the little guy to make a lot of money. If Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates wanted to buy Bitcoin, they wouldn't be able to buy as much as they really need to move their net worth, simply because right now all the Bitcoin in the world are worth about, call it $125 billion. This is what we call the market cap of Bitcoin. And if Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates started buying a lot of Bitcoin, they would drive up the price. So if they want to do that, they're welcome to do it. There's a good chance that governments around the world have already started buying Bitcoin, central banks, and certainly a lot of politicians, a lot of investment bankers, a lot of U.S. billionaires, including people like Peter Thiel, who was the first outside investor in Facebook and founder of PayPal. He's been very bullish on Bitcoin. I don't know whether he still owns it, but he certainly used to own it in his funds. So this is the good thing about this is an investment for the little guy, and you can turn a small amount of money into a really large amount of money. If you go back to these original numbers, turning $7,000 into $400,000 or $1 million or $3 million, just one Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin can, if this is correct, will be able to produce just tremendous amounts of wealth. I would encourage you, though, none of this is investment advice. You should follow Plan B on Twitter. He's an anonymous account, but a very smart quant who works at a company that manages over $100 billion worth of money. You should read his paper. Nothing I'm saying is really investment advice. Just telling you what I'm doing. I own a lot of Bitcoin for all these reasons that we've talked about. So let's say you want to dip your toes in the water. You'd like to buy some Bitcoin, knowing that you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. Well, you need to go to basically a Bitcoin exchange or a crypto exchange. I like Coinbase the most of all the ones I've seen. Cash App is also good in the US, but they do charge higher fees. So what I did is I opened up an account with Coinbase. I asked them to upgrade me after I opened up an account to Coinbase Pro. And if you use Coinbase Pro, they have much lower fees and commissions. Now I should say here, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. None of this is a commercial. I'm just a customer. I use Coinbase Pro. I'm not being paid by anyone to show these things. And Bitcoin is decentralized. There's no central Bitcoin company that's trying to pump this like a penny stock. It's completely decentralized. It's not controlled by anyone. And so I don't have any conflicts of interest, just so you know. So you open up an account, or I opened up an account with Coinbase. I upgrade to Coinbase Pro. And then when you get inside, you can see an interface that looks like this. And you move some money in from your bank. And it shows up in a couple days. You can either ACH it or wire it in. And then you can just buy some Bitcoin here. After you've done all your research, of course, not investment advice. So you can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. You can see here to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, the fee is just 35 cents. And that will get me about 0.01389 Bitcoin. And so then you just hit place buy order and you own some Bitcoin here. Now, the main way Bitcoin has been stolen in the past is that people leave it on the exchange. Coinbase is probably safe. You can buy Bitcoin and hold it here, but you should know that if you don't hold your own private keys, you don't control the Bitcoin. And so if you buy it on Coinbase, they hold your private keys. And if Coinbase gets hacked, and they're definitely a honeypot, there's billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin just sitting there. If they get hacked, you can lose your Bitcoin and you have no legal recourse. So what I do is I buy my Bitcoin here. And you might ask, I've got 17,000 US dollars here. I've got 0.001 Bitcoin. Where are all my Bitcoin? Well, I don't hold them on an exchange. And so what you do after you buy, or what I do after I buy the Bitcoin here, I just click withdraw and I can pull the money off the exchange and then I hold it on a hardware wallet. There are a bunch of brands that I use. Probably my favorite, especially for beginners, is called Trezor, Trezor.io. I'll put this in the links below. Again, I'm not associated with Trezor. I don't know anyone who works there. They're not paying me for this. They're just very good for beginners. And so what you do is you follow the directions. You buy the Bitcoin on Coinbase, you withdraw it, and you hold it on a hardware wallet. And you'll be able to create a backup for your hardware wallet in case the actual I'll show you what a hardware wallet looks like. You can see the picture here. They look like this, and they just plug into a USB port on your computer. Now, if your hardware wallet is stolen, there's a way to make it backup, where you basically create a series of words that serve as a backup. And so this is what I've done. And just so you guys know, I don't have these hardware wallets at my house, so please don't figure out where I live and come and find them, because they're not here. But this is the safe way to hold Bitcoin. You buy it on an exchange, but you don't keep it on an exchange, or it might get stolen like it did at Mt. Gox. You stick it on one of these hardware wallets, and then you forget about it. You keep it in a safe place, obviously, and there are different ways of doing that, which you can research more. But then you don't trade around it. At least I'm not going to trade around it. I'm going to hold it for the next. I'd probably consider selling some Bitcoin at about $2 million per Bitcoin. I'd start to unload my Bitcoin and maybe convert it into a little bit of real estate or something like that. But that is I don't think Bitcoin is something you really want to be trading. I don't think you can get better returns than the buy and hold would at this point. If you're trading in and out of it, you might miss some of the big up moves. Now, Bitcoin has a lot of tailwinds helping it out. Besides the May 2020 halving, which we've spoken about, besides all the central bank money printers, we have millennials are basically not interested in gold. Boomers are very interested in gold. Gen Xers, which I am to a certain extent, millennials have no interest in gold. They're interested in crypto. They're interested in Bitcoin. And so there's a generational thing happening here where people who want the functionality of gold and are under the age of, under the age of 40 or 50, they're going to be much more interested in Bitcoin. And there are a lot of millennials whom I've spoken with who just refuse to hold stocks. They just own crypto, especially Bitcoin. So it's got this tailwind, and it also has the tailwind of a lot of institutions, which are big companies that manage money for wealthy people or for universities, for endowments, etc. Institutions are very interested in Bitcoin. And you can find that out by listening to Plan B, who works for one of these very big institutions. You can read his paper. There will be institutional flows into Bitcoin. There already are, and they will just only increase. Because this is something that you can devote. I mean, one way to think about it as an individual, if you take 1% of your net worth and put it into Bitcoin. So let's say your net worth is $100, just to make it really easy. Let's say you take $1 and put it into Bitcoin, and it goes up 100x, as I expect. Well, now you have another $100. So you've basically doubled your net worth by just putting 1% into Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to zero, which it certainly can, this is a new technology. There were internet companies as well that went to zero. Amazon and Google obviously didn't. But if Bitcoin goes to zero and you've invested 1% of your net worth, what are you down? You're down 1%. You still have 99% of your net worth. So I think for these reasons, it's a very good insurance policy against the current financial system collapsing, and also an insurance policy against our wealth being constantly devalued by crazy central banks. And institutional investors realize this as well, that they can allocate just a small amount to Bitcoin, but these institutions manage trillions and trillions of dollars. So if they were to put 1% or 0.5% into Bitcoin, you're talking about more money than the current market cap of Bitcoin, the total value of all Bitcoin right now, which is about, call it 130 billion. And so you have these tailwinds, just like you had with the internet stocks, where there's big institutional money that comes in at a certain point. And you also have this generational shift where the Zoomers, Gen Z, and Millennials are much more interested in crypto and Bitcoin than they are in, certainly in gold. I don't know any Millennials who are interested in gold, and even more interested in Bitcoin than in stocks. So that's a basic introduction to Bitcoin. If you want to see how I'm trading it, I give access on my website. You can sign up for Trader University Premium, and you'll get to watch me buy Bitcoin and possibly other cryptos, and tell you what I'm thinking, how to move Bitcoin to a hardware wallet. So if this is something that interests you, if you have a lot of downtime now, if you're home from work because of the virus, I'd encourage you to check out all my courses. I've got courses on trading options, trading futures, trading stocks. as well as the Bitcoin course. So if this is something that interests you, check out the link below. If you just click Get It Now in the link below, it'll take you to this checkout page. Now, tuition is normally just $125 for 30 days access. But I want to give you a coupon because it's hard times right now. So if you click have a coupon code right there and you just type in YT, as in YouTube, YT99, click update, and that'll take $26 off the price. So you'll get access to all 13 of my courses, including the crypto Bitcoin one, for just $99 or no long-term contracts or anything like that. So you can watch all the courses and cancel before 30 days are up, and you won't be charged again. So hopefully you found this interesting and helpful. I think Bitcoin is one of those new technologies that everyone should really read up on, and then decide for themselves what the best thing to do is, because it's certainly not for everyone, but I imagine there are a lot of people that it is for. Let me know your questions and comments below. Hit that subscribe and like button if you haven't done already, and if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.